So this is my review of the Viking Profish Reload. This kayak has been my primary vessel for the past 6 months now. It has taken me to some incredible places and seen me through some captures that I honestly didn't think were possible from a kayak. Wow, this is a big fish. Yep, we got him. Starting with the basic specifications, this kayak is 4.5 meters long, 75 centimeters wide, and thanks to the new high density plastic, this boat only weighs 27 kilos without any gear in it. The Profish Reload has been designed right here in New Zealand and is tailored for the anglers who want to get out there, push the boundaries a bit into some open water or even the rough and rugged coastline that New Zealand has to offer. Now at 4.5 meters long, this kayak is fast. It is built for those offshore trips where you're covering a lot of ground, although with the help of the angler rudder system, which we'll talk about later, it is still a very maneuverable kayak and you can get away in some pretty close quarters with land. Although if you are looking to fish rivers and lakes, you're probably better off looking for a shorter kayak. Starting with what I believe to be this kayak's greatest feature, and that is the hull design. This kayak has been built with a sharp entry in the bow that allows you to cut through waves and glide over chop with no problems. But it also features incredible stability thanks to the hard chines built into this kayak that allows you to really load up on fish in even the roughest of conditions. The foredeck of this kayak has been built in a convex manner that allows waves to shed off easily and quickly. It also features a small splashboard, which again helps to stop waves entering into the cockpit and weighing down the boat. Another feature about the foredeck here is you've got your standard Viking carry handle. This thing is awesome, just a really sturdy holding point when you're dragging it up and down the beach. You've also got a bungee and these integrated grooves. These allow you to slide your rods into the bow, laying everything down flat for re-entry in the surf, keeping all of your gear safe. Moving back from the bow, this kayak features a huge oval hatch. This is a fully waterproof hatch and it's angled back slightly to even again help shed that water as you're going through waves and the surf. This hatch features ample storage for anything you could desire. I like to put my broken down sea tug trolley in here, but you can fit camping gear, food, dry clothes, whatever you can imagine, you can probably fit it in there. This thing is awesome. Moving back to the cockpit of the kayak, this is where the Viking Reload gets its name. It features this integrated tackle pod that is a fully self-contained unit removable from the kayak. So you can put everything in here, your sounder, your transducer, all of your tackle, lunch, food, everything you need for the day, and it drops in and out with just a simple pull of a pin. This is where the Reload gets its name, and it is truly one of the best features of this kayak. Other things to note about this cockpit is your side flush mounted rod holders. These are great for when you're changing lures, rigging rods, or landing fish. Even when you're sitting at anchor fishing with rods in the holder, that's what these are for. They are perfectly placed so that you can still paddle with the rods in the holder, whether you're moving spots while trolling or you're back paddling out of a rocky area after you've hooked a fish. These rod holders are positioned perfectly to do just that. Moving back to the seating position of the Profish Reload. Now this is one of my favorite features about this kayak, and that is the molded recess that you're actually sitting in. So you've got a lower center of gravity where your bum is, which keeps the kayak ultra stable, but you've also got a raised platform that puts most of the weight onto your thighs. It's a really interesting design about the Vikings, and it's one of the best features about this kayak. It stops your legs cramping up, stops them going numb, and it's a real lifesaver when you're doing very long trips on the water. You've also got a few options when it comes to seats. Now I've got the Hurricane backrest. Now this thing is a game changer. It is basically an office chair in a kayak. It's the most comfortable seat I've ever found, and it allows you to get a really responsive feel from the kayak because it is so rigid. You can adjust it up and down, so when one part of your back gets sore, you can change it to the next. It is truly a game changer when it comes to long days on the water. So that's what I've gone with, is the Hurricane seat. I could not recommend it more. We've also got 3 quarter turn waterproof hatches. So you've got one in between your legs and 2 on either side of your seat. Now these are awesome for keeping anything you want dry. I personally use the center one for my leaders. I have one for my first aid kit, and the other one is for my camera gear. So anything I want to keep dry for the day, I keep it in there. But you do have the option of opening these up, and they've got a bung inside, so you can actually use them as wet storage if you want to put an anchor or bait inside them, and you want everything to drain. So you've got that option. They're fully self-contained away from the hull of the kayak, so you're not worried about any sort of water intrusion. Now when it comes to rod storage, these kayaks come incredibly well equipped from the factory. You've obviously got the 2 front flush mounted rod holders in the cockpit, and then you've got 4 flush mounted rod holders behind your seating area. Now these are great for storing your rods when you're traveling. I like to use them when I'm trolling live baits or lures for either tuna or kingfish. They are pretty versatile, and 4 rod holders straight off the bat is a pretty good gig. You've also got the option of Railblazer rod holders behind your seat. These kayaks come factory fitted with 2 HD star ports that make for a really good mounting base for any of your Railblazer accessories. So these are great if I am trolling live baits with 2 lines out at once and I want to get the rod tips spread apart, or I want to raise my rods above the waves to give my reels a little bit more protection from the salt water. When it comes to fish storage, this kayak has a few options. All of them fit perfectly into this massive rear well in the kayak. Now you've got the option between an insulated cover, a fish bag, or a chill pod. I personally choose the chill pod as it's the best with insulation and keeping things cold. It also removes in and out of the kayak really easily without any leaks or drips that you have to worry about going in your car. The drawbacks of the chill pod is your longest fish species. Unfortunately, with a really big kingfish or other pelagic species, you can't quite fit them in there, and that is where other anglers would choose to go with the insulated cover or fish bag. All are great options and are really well built by Viking. I have to say I'm very impressed. Now the Profish Reload features a pretty unique and special rudder system. This is what we call the angler rudder. It's designed specifically to not snag any lines. It doesn't have an up-pull cord, and it runs flush with the bottom of your kayak. This means you never have to worry about it getting snagged on lines, weeds, or kicking up on rocks. It will simply lift up if it gets snagged on anything and drop back down. Again, it is flush with the bottom of your kayak, and it provides an awesome amount of maneuverability. This rudder has got quite a low aspect, meaning it's got a lot of grip in the water. So even in those rough conditions where you're going through a lot of wind and swell, with a simple twitch of your foot on the foot pedals, you'll be steering no problem. I absolutely love this thing. It is a game changer compared to other rudders on the market. Now you may think that being 4.5 meters long, this kayak is a little bit awkward off the water, but thanks to the new high density plastic with a hull weight of only 27 kilos, I can lift this kayak on and off of my high roof van, no problem, all by myself. So if you're worried about the maneuverability off the water, I don't think that's much of a problem. So long as you've got a good pair of shoulders, you'll be able to get it up and on your car, no problem. All in all, after 6 months of testing and well over 300 hours of fishing from this kayak, I can pretty confidently say that the Viking Profish Reload is got to be one of the best plastic fishing kayaks on the market. So if you are looking to get offshore, chase some big fish, and do it in an affordable manner, then the Viking Profish Reload is worth a look for you.